Welcome to the table, grab a slice, it's hot. The full-grown pizza pod taps diving into every plot. From secret labs to what's untold. Plum Island stories, brave and bold. Full-grown pizza, uncover the clues. Conspiracy pies served up fresh for you. Behind the fence where secrets hide. Plum Island tales with Tor as your guide.
The oven's on and there's more to explore. Plum Island secrets will open the door. Stay tuned, there's plenty to share. With full-grown pizza, you're always prepared. Explore. Plum Island secrets will open the door. Stay tuned, there's plenty to share. With full-grown pizza, you're always prepared.
All right, and welcome to the Full Grown Pizza Podcast. This is episode 34. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and leave a comment down below. This episode is going to be about Plum Island, and Tor is going to be hosting us through that. But before we get started, make sure to check out Ugly Chews, all natural dog treats. We do have an affiliate link with them, so you can use the link on your screen or check in the description below. I think we've got a code as well that can help save you some money on shipping or something like that. So make sure to check that out. If you want to support the show, and again, hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when we go live each week, and leave a comment down below as we're going through and join the conversation. Whenever you're ready, Tor, we'll get started on Plum Island.
Okay. Come back in a week. I'll be ready.
And next week, podcast over.
Next week. That was easy.
Well, that was a quick one. Good job, guys.
Tokens to fill the time.
Yeah.
Which guy's playing?
Yep.
Well, Plum Island, as its name says, rose plum.
Okay.
No, it doesn't really go plum.
That makes sense. That's where all the plums are from.
That's where plums
Plum from. It rhymes. It must be true.
Well, anyways, Plum Island is connected. We're connected Plum Island to our little trilogy that we have going about the in Philadelphia. Because it was talking about stuff washing the shore next to Montauk. They have the Montauk monster, and I think I need to have a fucking avatar. This thing keeps on turning off.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, well, whatever you can change. Just turn your video off, I guess. It's fine.
Watching anyways.
Yeah, or just leave it like that. It actually looks better that way. Just leave it that way.
Thank you. Yes, better without me. Thank you.
That's not what I meant. I just meant it's better that way than with some kind of weird graphic or something that you put up there.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was connected to the Philadelphia experiment, where we talked about the people like the ship going through dimensional, travel through time and space, and they used that technology to do it to people so they can travel through time and space with their brains and stuff.
Right.
And it was like some creatures started showing up on the shore.
Oh, what was that big creature called that what was when we did the Montauk experiment or whatever it was? Do you know
what I'm talking about? Anything.
Didn't they name it or something like Buddy or something like that?
Junior or something?
Junior, that's right, Junior.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Junior, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Something like that.
I just remember the picture
Um,
we had, the AI picture you had for it was like this big gorilla thingy, and I was
yeah, it
like,
was like an
yeah,
interdimensional gorilla and stuff,
yeah,
basically made of like space-time and fucking shadows and shit.
that's
So,
crazy.
it's really hard to explain what it was to the
Yeah,
AI. The AI was
that's
like,
what my brain pictures now. Yeah, that's how I envision it now. Uh,
But when we were talking about Montauk, you came up with the Montauk Monster, which
yeah,
is something that washed up on the shore around Montauk. And we have a picture of it. Somebody saw it on the beach and they took a picture of it.
okay, is that our
No,
first
a lot
picture?
of, yeah, that's why it says Montauk Monster. I labeled him.
Whoa, gross.
That is gross.
Yeah, because it's like people like didn't know what they saw because they're like, yeah, look, it fucking has a beak and shit, but like people like looked at it more closely and just saying like,
Yeah.
hey, it's probably looked like a raccoon that fucking got lost in the wash, and that's not the Montauk Monster, that's the Manhattan Monster. I
Oh,
didn't bring that up
okay.
yet.
I thought it was the
So it's
same
the size of a
creature.
raccoon then?
I guess so. They don't have anything really comparing it to, but if you look
Don't
at
get
the
the dimensions
sand,
or anything?
yeah,
I mean,
the
it.
sand looks really big compared to it. So yeah, it looks about raccoon size, and it
Yeah,
has hands like raccoon,
just
and
has no
but they're like,
hair, or
yeah,
like,
well, I guess
I
it
guess
like
it could
got
have a
washed off
disease or
or
something.
yeah,
Yeah, it looks like a
mange
decayed
or
fish probably a
Mange.
little bit.
decayed or like fish ate the fur off well before it
Ugh.
washed ashore and ate his
Yeah.
face off. Those are probably the crabs. So it looks like it has a beak, but people were
Yeah.
like, that's fucking all monster.
I know. I mean,
Another
it kind
thing
of
is
looks
like
like one. Yeah.
these things keep on washing ashore on these places. There's one that's called the Manhattan Monster who washed close by, which you can go to now.
Okay. Yeah. What the heck? Look at the
And
teeth on that thing. It's so weird.
people they said like, yeah, this is definitely a pig,
Yeah.
but there should be two pictures of it, right?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah. This one.
But if you look at his feet, those aren't pig's feet. It doesn't have
Right. They
hooves. It
don't
has
have
fucking
hooves.
clawed hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
It has
claws.
5 fingers, which is like really weird. So they don't know what it is.
What the
But like
heck?
all these things start coming on things, and they're like, where is these things coming from?
Yeah.
And then they're like, there's Plum Island out there. Now, Plum
Weird.
Island is supposed to be a government facility for testing diseases for animals and such.
Yeah.
Mostly, I think it's foot and mouth disease, which is like a real big thing
Huh.
because it's like so easily spread that like there's like a case of it like happened in the UK, and they had to kill a whole bunch of like animals because of it spreading so fast that it costed like $10 million killing all these animals.
What does it do? Like, what does the disease do? Do you know?
Um, I tried looking at pictures. I saw like cows with frothy mouths and like lesions in their mouth and
Okay. Well,
tongues, and I'm guessing it has something to do with their feet too, because it's foot and mouth disease.
right. So it probably makes them, at the very least, not edible, right? The food.
Yeah,
So, like, we had
yeah.
got to get rid of them.
And really, it's not spreadable to humans yet, but it's
Huh.
like it's very debilitating if like a country gets it because it just goes through the population of their livestock real fast,
Yeah, that
and they
sounds
become
bad.
unedible.
Huh. Okay.
So they have this facility, the Plum Island facility, for researching this. Now here where it gets interesting. This is like they opened this about in like 1950s, right?
Yeah.
1940s, they had a facility like this that was researching foot and mouth disease in Germany. And then World War
Huh.
II happened, and Hitler says, why don't you apply that so we can use it for warfare? So it became a warfare facility
Whoa.
to study animal diseases. And there was a man there named Eric, what's his last name? Yeah, the picture.
Eric.
Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the lead there, and he had a thing about how you could give animals like insects that bite and sting. You can give them diseases, and they could carry it and spread it to the animals. And he was talking about like how like the
Whoa.
best one would be ticks because they are really resilient. You can't really see them,
Yeah.
and they have a natural obsession with blood, so they'll
Go
be
right into the
drawn towards the
bloodstream.
animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his idea was basically you give the thing the disease, you drop it in the area, and it just destroys the livestock. And army marches on its stomach, and if they don't have any food, they're not marching.
Yeah,
They-
exactly. Wow, that's pretty messed up. That's smart
So,
though.
World War II ends, and the Russians get him, and they make him work for them on the island. But then,
Yeah.
like, America is like, I don't know about this. So, British agents sneak him out, and he moves to America.
Oh, wow.
And they take him to a facility in America where he designs a facility, was like the one that he worked at in Germany, and that facility was Plum Island.
Wow. Was it for the same purposes, like for warfare purposes, or do we not know?
No, here's the thing. When he started that facility, it was for the foot and mouth disease research.
Okay,
When they started Plum Island, it was for the foot and mouth disease research.
gotcha.
So it's just like very
So that's the
suspicious
yeah,
that
it's
they have
for
the
the same purpose.
goal, just like to say that for like the people
Yeah.
to hear. It's like this is for government research and stuff
That is
to
kind of strange.
prevent this thing.
huh?
But a lot of people speculate that it's for developing these. Because the weird thing about like Plum Island is patrolled by National Guard.
Okay.
You cannot get on Plum Island. You can't like
Weird.
wander there accidentally. You can't fucking
Yeah.
it's very hard to get. You can't even get like. The funny thing is like it says it's ran by the agriculture, facilities. But they say like you could get a letter of invitation from the president of that to go there, but you still wouldn't be able to go because you don't have any clearance
Oh.
because
Okay.
it is ran because it's protected by National Guard. It's
Right.
government owned, even though it's supposed to be like fucking agricultural. So
Huh.
Plum Island is set up and is researching these diseases and stuff.
Yeah.
Then a strange thing happens up in a place called Old Lyme, Connecticut.
Okay.
A disease starts, or actually they thought it was like a epidemic. A disease starts going around that causes like severe pain, like bullseye markings and stuff, and fever and sometimes paralysis. So they called it Lyme arthritis after the place it was found.
Yeah.
Then they found out that it came from ticks, and so they named it Lyme disease.
No way.
And the thing was like this facility is like maybe like 45 miles away from Plum Island, and it just suddenly showed up,
just starts
and it
showing up
was
right there. Wow.
delivered by ticks.
Yeah, which is exactly what they were talking about doing. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
The thing about like Lyme disease is like
Suspicious.
Lyme disease wasn't created; it's been around for a while, but it's
Yeah.
been like really dormant.
Right.
Like there's like this ancient like caveman mummy that they found, and he had like traces of Lyme disease in him.
Oh. Wow.
But it suddenly popped back up right outside a facility where they were testing diseases for animals,
Yeah.
where a Nazi guy who theorized that you could spread diseases through ticks.
Yeah, a little suspicious.
Yes,
It's a
very
little
suspicious.
sus. Huh.
There's another thing where like there's another disease that there's like very highly transmittable, but doesn't really affect humans, but it really like devastates a population if it gets there, called African swine flu.
Okay.
Now, the only report of African swine flu in the Western Hemisphere is in Cuba, where
Huh.
it was got distributed by ticks attacking their swine, their pigs.
Again with
This
ticks
is-
and animals.
This was the first case and only case of African swine flu being spreaded, and the Cubans believe that the CIA is the one that fucking gave
They're
the ticks
testing it. Yeah.
the
Huh.
swine flu because they had to destroy their whole population of pigs
Yeah.
because of it.
Man, that's
And this was
pretty
during like the
brutal.
whole like what's his name?
What? Yeah.
Castro?
Freaking Castro.
Castro, yeah.
Yep. Huh. Man, that's pretty gnarly. Like the first thing that like when you first started talking about this guy, it made me think, how would it be to be like such a top tier scientist that all these governments are like smuggling you around and trying to like You know, that would be pretty wild. Like you're just in your lab or like walking down the street and the freaking British government takes you in and they're like, "You're coming with us and you're working for us now." It's like, dude, that's got to
Yeah,
be wild. And it makes
He's
me
lying to your
wonder
face.
that's
like
very wild.
it makes me wonder like who is this guy like what I guess what are his allegiances actually to because he first started working with the Nazis, right? Or with the
Hmm.
Germans, but then he got smuggled around and then went to America and stuff. But like, why does he actually have any true allegiance to the
I
Nazis,
think
or
always
or is he
allegiance to
just to his
science.
science and his work and just
Yeah.
doing what he, just figuring stuff out? And
I
yeah,
mean, he like yeah, he worked there, but like with the Soviets, he didn't have an option. They're like, "You're working here. You're working for us now."
yeah,
And America
exactly,
is like, "Hey, you work with us, and we'll wipe
right.
your record clean with the Nazis."
Yeah, we
And
gave
it's
him
like,
an
"Oh, that's
incentive,
that's
so
good."
yeah, right.
That's what Operation Paperclip was about. What I was
Gotcha.
testing you on. Operation Paperclip is using German Nazi scientists
To
for
invent the
our own.
paperclip, yeah.
Yes,
Yep. Okay.
I'm gonna punch you
I'm just,
so hard.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, I know. Okay. All right, continue.
Where were we? Cuba?
Yeah, Cuba and all their pigs died because of a tick
Yeah,
that spread African swine flu, and that's exactly what our scientist character was doing.
yeah,
And the CIA, we had reason to go after Castro and stuff at that time, so
yeah.
makes sense.
If
Okay.
anything, it's like we go back to like the Lyme disease.
Yeah.
The scientists who discovered that the Lyme disease was coming from ticks also, I believe, worked at the facility on Plum Island. So he was also like a biochemist,
Yeah.
animal warfare thingy. And my thinking is that like he did it and then he saw how bad it got and he felt bad. So he's just like, guys, it's ticks.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
That
coming
makes
from ticks.
sense. Yeah, he
It's
just
this
told them.
virus.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Yep. Well, because it does make me wonder, like, how, it seems like they pretty quickly, caught on to things because that was the only case of it, right? Like, that was the only instance of it.
Of
So,
Lyme disease?
no, 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 no. Oh, I was talking about the Cuba situation because they were pretty
Oh,
quick. They
yeah.
were pretty quick to tackle that
They're on an
situation.
island, so it's basically easy. Just like kill your pigs. You're on an island.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's why the Plum Island was considered like a good place because it's an island. So if anything breaks out, which it did,
So it
they
killed
had like
off
at
their
least
whole.
2 cases of
Yeah.
foot and mouth disease getting out on their place twice at least.
Gotcha. Okay. So it
And
killed off
there's
their
also
whole pig
reported that like
population. It wasn't just like they caught it
when
quickly
they
and took care
when
of it.
they had their like one of their first cases of it, they just basically killed all the cows and then chopped them up and ate the steaks. And just like, what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Huh. Okay.
But there was like also another disease that I forgot what it was called. But they're basically weaponizing mosquitoes. And
Yeah.
then mosquitoes got out and bit the scientists. But the thing is, like, the scientists knew what the mosquitoes had, so they could treat it. The thing about this disease is it looks like a flu, but if you don't treat it, it kills
Oh,
you.
right.
So it's just like if one of those mosquitoes got to the mainland, it would have been bad, but
Yeah.
they quote unquote got them all.
Well, it almost makes me think of like the whole topic of like gain of function research, right? Where you take a
Yeah.
disease and you try to you're studying the disease and stuff, but then
Hmm.
you can also be used, almost at like a biological weapon where you're learning, you're kind of advancing the disease in order to study it and fight against
Yeah,
it,
that
but
kind
at
of
the
Yeah,
same
sounds
yeah,
time,
yeah.
like what they did with the Lyme disease because they said it was
right.
like dormant and then they made it,
That's
you
what it
know,
sounds like. It's like, okay, they're studying these different diseases and they're giving them to ticks and stuff, and they're studying that. And then, oh, a tick gets out or whatever,
yeah.
and it's like, oh crap. Like that, this is one of the ticks that had the more
Yeah.
deadly strain of the disease, and whoops. Or it's
I
like,
wonder if that guy had the cure to that that specific Lyme disease, and he brought him over to the thing accidentally, and then they got out and
Well,
started infecting
that's
people. But
that's what comes to my mind is that ticks are gonna find their way
yeah, they're
to
sneaky little
into
things. So
you, or they're gonna like whatever get in your
Sneaky.
clothes or something. Who knows? And then
yeah,
right, I mean, when you're working with them all the time, it's bound to happen at least once.
it seems suspicious that the guy from Plum Island happened to be in that town when that disease got released. So
Right,
he
exactly.
probably brought him with him.
He was probably like, this looks exactly like what I've been studying for this whole time. So, like, I'm pretty familiar with it, guys. Yeah, that's wild.
So here's like another thing that's fun about Plum Island. The Plum Island studies animals' diseases, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't study like diseases for humans because that would be like against like Geneva Conventions, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
But they can study zoonotic diseases, which are diseases that can be transferred between animals and humans.
Okay. Makes
Yeah, that's
sense.
Plum Island right there.
Yep. Wow.
So that's what the thing is like. Yeah, we're not gonna study diseases for humans, but we're gonna study these diseases for humans and animals for
Exactly.
animals.
It's for animals, but
It's
not
for
humans.
animals.
Yeah, of course.
But like this whole thing is like really crazy because it's like they were talking about how like these types of labs basically they leak all the time,
Yeah,
and they
Yeah,
have like
have to.
rogue agents all the time. Like the CDC had like these like I think 2 counts of people taking out live anthrax from their facility.
Jeez,
One guy even
dude.
used it.
That's
there's that lab in
crazy.
Australia that got like 100 diseases taken from there, like all deadly, and you don't know what happened to those
But like the
just recently.
it's not was it Al Qaeda? Well, there's just like one lady who's like a lady terrorist, and she had like a whole bunch of like cyanide and stuff, just like trying to get to the states, I believe. And she had like a
Huh.
list of things to like kill a lot of people, basically. And
Wow.
it had Plum Island on the list, which is like, oh, so Plum Island's basically known
Really?
by a lot of people, and they're like, it
Yeah.
was a targeted place.
Hmm.
Wow. Well, it just goes to show, like, I mean, if you follow the logic this way, you say, okay, are there crazy people out there? Yes,
Yes,
obviously. Is it possible that a crazy person works for the government? Yes.
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 Is it possible that a crazy person working for the government might have security clearance for some, that gives them access to things that, they could use against other people? Yes.
No,
Yeah.
too much
I
screening.
mean, oh, too much. Yeah.
It
Yeah, because people who work for the government are totally bad at hiding stuff. Like
was like
I
another
think
like a case like a lady like he fell into a ravine while like zip lining or something,
huh.
and she like landed on jagged rock, so he had to go to surgery.
Yeah.
And during the surgery, they're like, something's wrong. You got flesh eating bacteria.
What the
And basically, she lost her leg, her foot, and both her hands from the
Whoa.
flesh eating bacteria.
That's
And
crazy.
they found out that there was another case of flesh eating bacteria, and then another case of flesh eating bacteria. And then
Oh
they're
my
like, where
gosh.
is all this coming from? And like in the center was the CDC in Atlanta. It's like, I think you guys lost
My
something.
gosh, yeah. Dude, isn't that so like messed up kind of that like
No, here's like the one
I don't
messed up.
know.
They're doing like the safety things, and they went to the CDC, and it turned out they had like their air system, their air circulatory system, were supposed to bring in the fresh air,
Yeah.
So like thing. Turns out it was working in reverse, and it was spewing out the
Oh
bad
my
air into the
god.
air.
Oh my
This fucking
god.
government facility
That's
that
a
tests
big
diseases
whoops. That's a
is
big
sitting there
whoops.
spreading out viruses all over the place.
Oh my god.
And
Yeah,
this
I
is
don't
like
know,
it's
man.
what they're saying is like all these like lab
Jeez.
facilities seem to have really bad safety protocols, and they're just
Yeah.
fucking dangerous and stuff.
It's like
But
OSHA doesn't give a crap about the government facilities. Like, come on.
but
Like,
they're like, here's the good news, guys.
okay,
I think they're being a little
good.
thing about this. It's like a little cheeky. Plum Island shut down last year.
Oh,
It's
wow.
gone. Plum
Okay.
Island shut down because they're opening a new facility in Kentucky.
Oh, great! In the
in the
middle of the
middle of
country.
the in the middle of the
Yeah.
food basket,
Yeah,
not on an island, but in the
No.
middle of a landlock.
Not
Well, they had
secluded anywhere.
trouble isolating the things anyway,
Yes.
and they
They're like, you
let's
know
try
what?
it in Kentucky. That worked better.
Guys, it's too hard to isolate things on an island. We're gonna have to try something different. Move into the middle of the country. Yeah.
Also, like one thing I found out about this when I was doing this research is Lone Star ticks. Those things are horrible.
Lone Star ticks. What are those?
Lone Star ticks. Okay, so regular deer ticks and ticks like them they do what's called questing, is where they basically like get on top of a long string of grass and they basically wait for something to brush by and they grab on and then they do their thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Lone Star ticks are active hunters. They have eyes. They can smell like the pheromones and that like animals release when they sweat, so they actively hunt things. And
Okay.
they're like immune to freezing. They can live underwater for a bit. They can rehydrate through the air. They're they're not the queens, but the females can lay 10,000 like eggs. And they have a tendency to swarm.
That sounds terrifying.
And their bite can cause you to become allergic to red meat.
Oh no. That's even
And here's the
worse.
thing.
No steak?
Yeah, no steak. They used to live basically in Georgia and Florida. But in like the 60s or something, somehow 1,000 of them got released in Virginia. And now they're as far over as Texas.
Who screwed that up?
I don't know.
Who's carrying
apparently-
the crate of Lone Star ticks and just like tipped it
Yeah.
over and whoops. Oops.
It's just ticks. No
Dang
one
it.
cares.
Yeah, just whatever. They're not that
But
important.
the thing is, like,
no.
This, like, according to the thing, is like they're still spreading. They're not done spreading yet. They're still
Well, I'm not
they're still moving
surprised.
west,
They're not controlled
which is like
anymore, so they're just
horrifying because like
yeah.
the fucking like the red meat thing, like no steaks. Oh man.
Well, and what if
Yeah.
okay, so if you become allergic to red meat because of this, is that now a hereditary thing? Like could you pass that on to like other generations? Because that would be
I don't think
nuts.
so.
I wouldn't think so, because it was given to you. It wasn't like a genetic thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was
That is
talking to,
pretty
like,
crazy.
someone before, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm a vegetarian, but it's not because I fucking care about animal rights. Because like meat makes me nauseous and stuff." I was like, I think you got bitten by one of those fucking ticks that make you allergic to red meat. And they're like,
Yeah,
no,
maybe.
because I don't remember ever having a tick. Here's the thing about Lone Star ticks: they can bite multiple times. They don't
Yeah.
like latch on to this.
Well,
get
they
stuck
don't
there.
they don't burrow into you, right? Or they
When
they
they find a
can,
good spot, they will burrow, but they
they'll
can like
still bite.
and just like leave you alone and just
Yeah.
hey, enjoy your red meat, jerk.
Yeah, it's like
But no,
screw
that's
you,
the funny
bitch.
thing. It's like honestly, I thought Lone Star ticks were from Texas because they're the Lone Star,
Right, Lone Star,
State.
yeah. Yep.
But it's because they have like a little red, like a white dot on their back. That's like, oh, it's a Lone Star.
Oh, gotcha.
Just-
Huh. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
weird. Dang. Well, then the whole just like all these different diseases and random weird things like the allergy thing and whatnot being transferred by ticks. And it's
Mhm.
all kind of happening after this guy discovered that you could do that. It's like, I don't know. That's pretty wild.
It's like there's the Chinese bird beetle, the ladybugs. You know, they're like the fake
Oh,
ladybugs
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yep.
that tend to bite.
Yep.
They also transmit diseases, and that was part of his thing. As he said, beetles and ticks. So just like,
Right.
wait, so these are
maybe he didn't stop
Chinese
with ticks.
beetles.
Yeah.
And they also deliver fucking nasty viruses. And it's like, why are they doing here? And why are they so widespread? Just
Yeah.
like, and they're
Well-
disguised as ladybugs. So people are like, oh, look, a little ladybug.
Well, and that would
I'm gonna let it crawl on my finger.
That would
It just
honestly be such a easy way to spread a disease, because you're working with such tiny subjects that no one's going to notice if you plant a tick that has this disease into a population of of other ticks or whatever. You know, no one's gonna notice if you just leave some bugs in the field. Like they're not
Mhm.
gonna, you know, they're not gonna be like, hey, what are you doing? No, they're just like, okay, the guy's playing around with bugs in a field. Like, who cares? But
Yeah.
but then I imagine, you know, as those bugs, they're gonna spread the disease to other bugs that are there, and it's gonna transfer between them, and then it's gonna spread to people eventually, and it's just it's a matter of you could go across the whole country just like planting, okay, I'm going to plant some bugs here and some bugs here and some bugs here, and then it's just before you know it, the whole population of those bugs are carrying this disease that you have to deal with. Like, I don't know, that's a pretty scary way. It's a scary thought because I feel like that could be so secretive, you know, and it wouldn't
Yeah.
be you wouldn't necessarily the first thought is going to be, oh, there's some kind of natural mutation or whatever that happened that made this occur. Like, how are you going to prove that, oh, this was done by a foreign government agency or some, you know, this was done by like as a terrorist attack or something, you know, how would you prove that, I guess, based on this kind of scenario? So I don't know. That's pretty scary to think
Yeah.
about.
I reminds me that I forgot about the human test that was found.
What was the human test?
On Plum Island, they found a body. I forgot what year it was, but it was like a 6 foot tall black man, and they said like there's something strange about him because he had like extremely long fingers, right?
Hmm.
And he had like like post like surgery like holes drilled into his head, like at least 5 of them. So it's like
Whoa.
brain testing, you know.
Yeah, weird.
And they found like a bunch of like anti-seizure medication in his system.
Hmm.
Huh.
You know, it's like
That
the
makes me
thing is
think of
like,
like lobotomies and stuff and like
yeah, but
like I don't
here's the
know.
thing: is like, did he come from Plum Island, or did he escape from Montauk, where they were doing that shit too? And he just
Yeah.
like tried to swim away, and basically got washed in the tide and got swept
Washed
up
up to
on
Plum Island or
Plum
whatever.
Island.
It's possible. Yeah.
I mean, if the creatures are coming from Plum Island to fucking Montauk, I mean, might work the same way in the opposite way
It could go
too.
the other way. Yeah. Huh. And it does make me think, I mean, if you've got people that are doing this crazy shit to animals and bugs and whatever, I mean, it's not that much more of a stretch to be like, well, let's just do it to humans. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
And it's an
especially
acceptable step.
especially if you were like super hardcore committed to like a scientific kind of ideology where you're just
Dude, it's like
like,
the
you know
fucking
what, people are animals
government.
too, you know, so it's
There's
just
like been multiple cases of the government just testing out shit on their population all the time,
yeah,
especially their
exactly.
military. They're
Yeah,
like, we own you. We're gonna test this shit on you. We're gonna drop this fucking. We're gonna fill this thing with like plutonium and see how you guys react to it. But we're not gonna tell you that this is plutonium. Otherwise,
right.
you
Well,
got
and
you object
then
to it.
with that whole mentality, it's just like, oh, well, if you know one or two people die, but we learn how to do this really crazy thing that could, you know, that we could use against our enemies or whatever, like that's, you know, to them that's probably worth the cost. They're like, whatever, we don't really care.
There's like the one experiment where like they got like a whole bunch of like black people, and they're like, hey, we're gonna test this we're gonna try to like they're like we're gonna test you for diseases and cure you and stuff. But it turns out they just gave them syphilis and gave them sugar pills, and they just wanted to see what the syphilis would do to them.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, documented too.
Yeah.
Government,
Yeah.
they don't give a shit.
I know they don't. Well, and that's what's so dangerous about the whole, I don't know, the government being involved in science, and rather than having science be based on like uh you know, if it was more of like a private enterprise thing, well, now you've got people's money. Like, you need to do things so people pay you. And like that way, so you're incentivized to do good things with your science. Whereas the government, it's like, we're getting money regardless. because of
Mhm.
taxpayer money. So we don't really have any incentive to do anything good with the science. We just can test whatever the hell we want, basically. So it's like it's kind of scary. And then you have things like Plum Island and freaking Montauk
What if
Island.
Plum
And
Island manufactures grays?
you think
Grays
they're
manufactured?
creating grays out of like animal matter and stuff? Like
Well, we talked about the grays before. They were considered that they were from other dimensions and stuff.
that's true. So maybe they've got that portal
But
thing that
I
they've.
wouldn't like put it behind them like test like genetics with grays to like produce like different types of like humans and stuff or advanced humans. You
That's
know,
true because we did talk about a long time ago about the possibility of, these um the first aliens arriving here, and maybe a subsect of them started kind of breeding with humans, interbreeding and whatnot, things like that. So maybe they are trying to figure out a way, okay, how can we, instead of interbreeding, how can we make our species more like, humans, more human like, or more like, what can we do as far as that goes? I don't
and
know.
how do the plasmoids fit in? What are the plasmoids?
I don't know.
Like, you got plasmoids. You know plasmoids.
I don't know what that is.
I know about
What is that?
plasmoids.
I don't know what plasmoids are,
Yeah.
so I don't know how they fit in.
Yeah, well, I don't even know what that is, so I don't know either. But
Oh,
no,
we know what Michael's subject is next week.
but there are things. What's interesting is there are. I don't know if they're doing this now or if there's like a company that's testing it and trying to do it. But I did read something about this where they've got, I think they're pigs that they're creating that develop human, essentially human organs inside of them, is like lungs and kidneys and things like that, because we're so similar with those types of organs that they're actually developing those so we can use them in organ transplants. So it's like organ transplants, but we don't have to wait until somebody
So yeah,
dies, or we
so
don't have to wait until, we
it's
don't
like
have to
that
use it from another human. We can use it from an
one
animal.
sci-fi movie where they make clones just so they can harvest organs, but we just do it with pigs.
Yeah, except yeah, they're
The
doing it with
Pentagon
pigs and
mentioned
things
them
like
in
that.
their press conference and said they are sentient beings. They look like balls of light.
Plasmoids? What
Balls
the?
of light. Sentient
Hmm.
balls of light. That sounds like some Star Trek shit, right?
Yeah, that sounds wild. That's
That's weird.
crazy. Huh. That makes me think of, there's another phenomenon that's actually pretty interesting. I listened to like a podcast on them called
It's basically like how like the theory like where you are energy inside the system, you know, and
Yeah,
circuitry and stuff.
yeah.
They just forget the circuitry. They're like, where is the
They're
energy?
like just the
Whatever.
energy just flying around. No, it
Yeah.
makes me think of ball lightning. Have you guys ever heard of ball lightning?
Yeah, the Russian
Yeah,
ball
I-
lightning, like the little traveling balls of light.
Yeah, it's where it's like a weird phenomenon.
There's like
Scientists don't
fucking
know
videos of shit.
what
Yeah.
causes it or how it happens, but
Like,
it
what
is
the
it's
fuck?
like little ball lightning that, yeah, bounces around and stuff, and then it dissipates or whatever. And it's like, no idea, nobody knows how it happens or why it happens, but it's documented and it does happen. It's just one of those mysteries. It's like the completely unknown.
According to D, plasmoids look exactly like ball lightning.
Yeah, so then you
Seems like they're
can't
being
distinguish.
swept under the rug. Was it getting swept under the rug, or was it just like trying to be a distraction that nobody fell for? You don't know with these.
You
fucking
never
press
know with these
conferences.
things, because it's like,
Yeah.
you just can't trust them. You can't trust the Pentagon when they come out with some press release saying, "Oh yeah, this is happening." Like, you just can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't
Look what
trust
one
them.
hand's doing, so you
Yeah.
don't see what the other one is.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, okay, are you trying to trick us with this, or are you admitting something, but then you're not telling us the whole picture?
Yeah.
And so I don't know, man.
It seems
It's
like when
wild.
like something like serious is going on there, it's like, hey, wait, guys, aliens, in Mexico, right?
Yeah. Right. Well, the freaking pinata aliens. Yeah.
Yeah, pinata
Yeah.
aliens.
They're like,
They got oceans aliens. Guys, look at these drones. What
Yeah.
are those about?
yeah, all these drones, guys. Check this out. It's like, I don't know, man. Every time you
I don't
point at
like-
something, it makes me want to look the other way, because you're kind of sussing me out. The plasmoids
Plasmids
go
go
to
into the
space.
ocean.
and down into the
Oh,
ocean. Great, where all the freaking
so yeah,
aliens
yeah.
live and where
So
the
they must be
hollow
traveling
earth.
on the Dark Pyramid
Oh, they're using the ley
bandwidth.
lines and
Yep, they're traveling through the ley lines on the Dark Pyramid. So yeah,
dude, what the
I mean they're pure
heck?
energy. They can
What
easily just
if
slide onto those things real fast.
okay. What if fast travel is really just you turn into a plasmoid and then you travel to wherever you go, right? Like, what if they're using these dark pyramids as like fast travel waypoints or whatever, but the way that it works physically is that you turn into a plasmoid and then you remanifest into whatever your physical form is once you get to your location. Like, that could be pretty wild.
What if plasmoids are your conscious that you travel in?
Yeah, it could be right. It's like when we talked about like different timelines and things like that, where if there's different timelines, there's different versions of you, and consciousness is kind of the tether between all your different timelines, and that's why you have deja vu and all these different things. But if you could extract that consciousness and allow yourself to travel between dimensions, like that could be, you know, then it
Well,
would make
that's
sense.
the
It's like a
thing,
plug and
man.
play.
Like the thing about fucking what's it called? Fiction and nonfiction. Fiction has to make sense.
Oh yeah, it's got to be based on something that, that's true or something that makes sense to the point where you can extrapolate it.
So like maybe like grays are just like basically your avatars on a different planet, and sometimes there's like some people are just like I just want to travel, so they just come as their grays forms or something.
Okay,
So it's like the avatar system where like you go into a different body, into a different location.
it makes
So
me
you gotta
think,
travel on the ley line to get
what if
there.
the aliens reached a point in their tech tree where essentially every member of their species is biologically the same, essentially, besides their consciousness, and so you extract the consciousness, but then you can then put it into any other body, right? And then it's still you. It's just you're in another body, but there's no difference between that body and your body,
Yeah, your
essentially.
consciousness is your spark, your plasmoid.
Right.
So
They've
yes,
they've they've
yes,
learned
gray to
to
gray.
extrapolate all the things or extract the things about you, like your soul or your consciousness or whatever. And they're
Yeah.
like, okay, this is really the only important stuff, and then we can just put you in another body, and it's like, there you go.
Yeah, well, didn't we talk about something like that was like the important thing for them was like the soul and the
Yeah.
Yeah.
energy. Says like the plasmoid is like what they like the main thing.
Yeah.
So like the whole idea of the gray traveling from gray to plasmoid to gray be like yeah, they're earth gray, then they use the plasmoid to travel through the ley line and through the fucking dark pyramid to their sector 18 gray, and just
Yep.
basically how you get around and stuff.
Well, you got to think,
That's why.
because it's much more cost effective in every type of resource imaginable, as far as time and space. I mean, you're saving time. You don't have to traverse space. You don't need to use any kind of fuel. You don't need to, like, whatever. You're using the natural energy of the ley lines, and you've got your dark pyramids that are already established, and it's just like totally makes sense for to develop something like that, and for technology to move in that way. So I don't know. That would make sense to me.
I wonder if like the
Yeah.
salt water helps the dark pyramids with the transfer. That's why most of them are underwater.
At the very least, it's more hidden, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And
Like, yeah,
even
get
if
these monkeys. These
right,
monkeys are getting to everything. They're like curious cats. They're so annoying.
they're like, we don't
They
we don't
break
need
everything.
people. Yeah, we don't need these humans like investigating and messing with our ley lines and freaking digging up our dark pyramids or whatever. Like, we don't need
It's
them
like
investigating all this crap. We just need
it's the
to.
same reason why you don't keep your cup on the counter. You put it in the cabinet because the cat's gonna get into it and fucking knock it
It's
off
gonna
and
knock it
break
over. Yeah, exactly. They're just like, yeah, don't let them see this shit. They're not ready
Don't
for
put it
that.
where the humans get to it. They're gonna fucking.
They're gonna
break
knock it
it
off the counter and break it. You can't trust them. Yeah,
And
exactly.
then they're like, we developed the submarines. They're like, God damn humans!
They're like, oh man,
No.
who let them develop the submarines? Where are the lizard people? How come they're not stopping this? Like, what's going
Release
on?
the octopus. Release
Yeah,
the giant squids.
yeah. Release the Kraken already. Get it out. Get. Yeah, for real. Oh, dude, like I remember watching this video of I don't know if they investigated it any further. Probably have because it was several years ago when I saw this, but it was like a video of an underwater, I want to say they were in a submarine or they're in some kind of, underwater like capsule thing or whatever. They're
We can go to
taking
3 camera, by the way. We're done with the Plum Island picture.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoops. Anyways, they were going to they were investigating things like giant squid and whatnot, and they actually got footage of like this giant like eyeball kind of going right by their little window, and it was the
Mhm.
craziest little video clip. Maybe I'll have to find it in the next episode. I'll play it for us just for fun, but I'll have to find it because it was wild. It was like this massive eyeball. I mean, you could see that it was a squid or like maybe an octopus or something because it had kind of that same texture around the eye and whatnot.
I was hoping it'd
Um,
be a squid because
I think it was a squid because it looked long, because and
Yeah.
it went right by him. And it was just one of those things where it's like, man, we really don't know what's under the ocean. Like we
Oh
really
no,
have no
no.
idea. It's so
Yeah.
dark
You ever
and,
see that
and
like
so
a
deep.
thing that they're like, "Hey, what's under the ocean?" Oh, it's another ocean. Like what?
Yeah, exactly,
Like
dude.
wait, how
Like
many oceans are there until you get to the core?
like that's what's so crazy is we talk about like space travel and all that stuff and going to different planets, but man, we still have so much more to explore on our planet. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty wild to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as land, like in a lot of the more populated areas and stuff, like we're pretty good as far as land goes in like, populated
Pretty
regions and
good, but we're
stuff.
not the
We're not
best
not
though.
perfect, but
Seeing how like the world's largest cave was only discovered like 18 years ago.
yeah, well, I think when it comes to like caves and like underground things and
Yeah.
whatnot, like
Well,
we've got a
that's
lot
where
more
the
to
monsters are. You don't want to go there.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's scary. It's
Like,
darkness.
yeah. You hear like the horror stories of people like dying in cages. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to be fucking be
even the
trapped
experts don't
upside
want to do
down
that.
and starve to death while fucking blood just rushes to my head. I'm fine. I'm
Well,
already claustrophobic enough. I don't want to be able to like not move.
and the other thing is a lot of these cave systems and structures require you to like squirm into tight spaces like a little
Yeah.
worm, and because you may
That's
not
what
have had to
robots are
do that.
for. That's what
Exactly.
robots are for.
And it takes a special kind of person to want to do something crazy like that. So we're not
Oh
going to
yeah,
make a
very
whole lot of
special.
progress on that. Like I see some of those videos of people like wiggling through these caves and stuff, and I'm like, dude, there's no way. I would be
No, what's even
panicking.
crazier than the people that are going through the caves are the people that are going underwater in the fucking caves.
Oh my
Those people,
god.
holy crap!
Just
It's
imagine
like that.
seeing
All
some
those
glowy
signs are
like
like, hey, you don't know what you're doing. You're gonna die. This is like the first sign that comes up. And they're like, okay.
I always think of those anglerfish like as the
Oh yeah,
scariest thing in the in the ocean because they've got like that little light and they've got like this really ugly scary face with these giant teeth and I'm like, "Oh my
yeah.
god. Imagine a giant one of those things." I'm like, "Oh god."
Finding Nemo gave him nightmares.
Yeah, Finding Nemo traumatized me when I no. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're probably just a kid when that came out.
No, it didn't traumatize me, but I actually love that movie. But yeah, I
Oh yeah,
do
it's a good
think that
movie.
those things are scary looking, and if you see pictures of them, like they've got
Oh,
little
all the deep sea
like
fishes are fucking
yeah, they're
scary. They have
crazy,
these giant nasty teeth because they're blind, so you have to be able to hit it
dude.
once and hold on to it. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it's fucking gone.
exactly. That's so crazy, man. Wow,
You ever see like the goblin shark down there that can like
the
push
goblin
its jaw
sharks
out
are
like a fucking
crazy looking. Yeah,
alien motherfucker?
yep, yep. That's so weird. It
Yeah,
makes
deep
me
sea,
think
man.
like aliens. If we were to find something that looked like an alien, it would definitely be under the water. Like yes, in space, there's probably aliens in space, but if you're talking about just like physically, like something looking like an alien, like there's definitely something down in the ocean that's gonna look like that.
Yeah, but they're not going to be aliens. They'd
They
be
wouldn't be
natives.
aliens; they would be natives to us. But
But
yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty
like
wild.
ocean's basically a different world. It
Yeah.
is.
Oh yeah.
It's a
It
bigger
is
world too.
totally, totally different. Yeah, that's crazy.
We are the minority on this planet compared to the ocean.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you got to think like how many creatures, how many different kinds of creatures, and how many of those creatures there are. You know,
And how many haven't been discovered yet?
yeah, exactly. That's wild. We'll have to do an episode like on underwater like sea
There's
creatures
no
or something.
conspiracies underwater.
No, not conspiracies, but just like
We'll do
sea
mermaids. Just be
creatures.
like a secret thing to just do underwater
Yeah,
episode.
it's just our excuse to talk
Like-
about sea monsters
Like,
and sea
hey, here's
creatures
a
and
thing
stuff.
that somebody says is a mermaid. They're not real. But here's the thing about underwaters. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh man, that would be awesome.
I
Well,
don't know, Mike. You want to do underwater, or do you want to do plasmoids?
I know. I'm still thinking
Yeah.
what I do.
Okay.
well, anything.
Well, you gotta wait.
I'm not next. Tyson's next.
Oh yeah, I'm next
Oh yeah,
because I did the year in review, and then Mike
yeah.
did
It's oldest, the youngest. I forget.
whatever. I forget what
I
Mike.
mean, I thought I went
last
after
episode.
you.
Yeah,
Mike
but
was
Yeah.
like,
Tic Tac.
Yeah.
was up to Tyson.
Yeah.
He
Well,
wants to do mermaids now.
We'll figure it out. Yeah,
Just so we
I
can talk
might
about
want to do
English.
some. I might want to do some kind of sea creature or something.
We haven't done encrypted in a
We
long
haven't done
time.
encrypted since like the beginning of the podcast. Like that's.
I don't think
crazy.
we did encrypted since the fucking no walking pants of Fresno's.
Yeah, oh my god, that was such a funny one. That was such a good one. I love the thumbnail for that one, which is the pants that these cartoons.
They're so happy to be
They're
pants.
so good. They just love being pants. Oh, dude, that was so funny. Yeah, we got to get into
Those
some
are
more silly
plasmoids
like
that
paranormal
mislanded their
stuff.
skin to their skins.
Yeah.
They came out looking for their suits and they accidentally landed in pants. They're like, oh, we gotta go with it.
Yeah. I like the idea of it being an alien freaking like alien hermit crab kind of thing that just happened to come across some pants and they're like
Plasmoids
well,
are alien hermit crabs. We can
this
go
is
with
what I
that.
got. Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. That's funny. Oh boy. All right. Anything else on Plum Island before we wrap it up?
No. Yeah, there's some pretty good videos you guys can watch about it, but it's a real like crazy, and it's not existing anymore. So we'll be fine until the one that built up in Kentucky starts doing weird
Well,
stuff.
yeah, until the CDC end up
Yeah.
spreading the plague all around with ticks and we all
Yeah, watch out
die.
for ticks. Ticks are horrible,
Yeah,
especially
apparently.
the fucking Lone Star ticks. You don't want to get swarmed by them because you're not gonna be able to eat steak.
You won't eat steak anymore or burgers. That's terrible. I
Yeah.
love burgers.
I'm
It's,
gonna
my, it's
eat.
like
I
my
don't-
favorite food is a burger. Dang it.
I gotta eat hamburger and fucking.
Yeah. Well, all right. I'll
No,
stay
thank
away
you.
from
I can't
ticks.
eat pork.
Yeah.
I guess I could eat fish. Fish are fine. I could eat fish. Fish and shrimp. Yeah, fine.
All right. Well, I guess we can wrap it up there.
Unless you guys,
guys
want to do
wanna-
some pizza tokens. You guys play anything new?
I
I did
think-
play a little bit of the fucking Path of Exiles the other day.
Okay, I was gonna see.
I-
Maybe we could play some of that after the podcast.
I was rocking with the mercenary. That's a real fun class.
Yeah,
Huh.
Mercenary's fun.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a shot. I haven't played it yet. I did buy it and download it. I haven't played it yet. No, one game I've played actually. My girlfriend and I have been playing through this a lot, and it's been a lot of fun. So if you've got like a significant other or somebody that you want to play a game with,
We don't.
I know, just for Dean P in the chat or for whoever else might listen to this later. There's a game on, I'm sure it's on other platforms. So we played on the Nintendo Switch. It's called Overcooked. And it's like one of those diner dash games where, you get the orders and you gotta
Yeah.
you make them and stuff. But it's really fun because each level comes with its own kind of environmental challenge. So like, for example, you could be on a raft or something on a river, and
Yeah.
there's like multiple platforms that are rotating around or moving around, and you got to get the ingredients and cook them, but everything's shifting around. So it's a lot of fun, and it's actually pretty hard. It's a pretty challenging game.
I was playing a game not too long ago that's basically like Overcooked. Basically like one of its clones. Yeah, and it's pretty fun. It's called Played Up. So
Played Up.
look
Okay.
to that.
I'll have to look into that.
And we can play that together.
Because we just beat Overcooked 1 and Overcooked 2, and now we're playing Moving Out 2, because Moving Out 2 you can play together. And it's kind of the same, except you're like grabbing boxes and stuff out of houses and furniture out of houses and stuff and throwing them.
Okay.
But it's the same developers, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, that reminds me of Unpacked, which is a very chill game. I like that game.
yeah. So it's one of those games where it's just fun and silly, and it's and
Yeah,
it's a fun kind of game. We like to banter with each other and stuff over it, so it's been fun. But
yeah.
so I've been
We'll
playing
play the
that, and
leader.
I've been playing Ascension WoW. Also, I've been having a lot of fun with Ascension WoW, where I've been doing the random thing,
The
where
random
like
thing.
yeah, every
So,
time you level up, you get a random ability or a random talent.
every
or
time you
whatever.
level up, you change what you're fucking going to be. Like maybe I'll be this instead.
It's been really fun though, because
Maybe I'll
you're
be this
trying to
instead.
you can actually re-roll your stuff, which is nice.
Yeah.
But then it's been really fun to be like, okay, how am I going to incorporate this into my build, or like, you know what, I'm going to re-roll this because it makes no sense. And but it's been cool. So I basically have like this. I've been making my guy into kind of, it started out as like a tanky guy that just runs in and freaking blows up and like does a bunch of AoE damage. And
Mm-hmm.
because there's new abilities too in the game, which is cool, like abilities that aren't in classic WoW, there's actually
Yeah.
completely new abilities. So I had this like arcane ability where I go in and I just do it, and it like shoots arcane like blasts to all the different enemies and stuff. And if I'm taking damage, like it does more damage. So I was like, okay, well, I'll be tanky and I'll just run in and do a bunch of AoE. And then I started getting other AoE spells like consecrate and
Mm-hmm.
like explosive trap and like all these things. So I'm just like running in and putting down all these AoEs and just blasting. And then I've got victory rush, which is like for warriors, when you kill something you can use it and then it heals you. And so I basically just go in, AoE everything, and then just victory rush, da 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 da, and heal myself. It's really fun. And then I got an ability that enchants it. It basically like puts an enchant on my weapon, where anytime I directly heal myself, it has a chance to heal for more. And so it's just been this cool like mage, warrior, tank, warlock type build. Like it's been really fun. And so yeah, I've been playing that lately, and that's pretty much it. And also, I found out that leveling in that is ridiculously fast if you just queue for dungeons, which is kind of unfortunate. But
That's how it is in retail, man.
I know. I just found myself. I was trying to
Ask
do.
your sister. That's all she does.
I know.
I
I
try to
mean,
play with her. She's like, "Let's do dungeons." I'm like, no.
because I wanted to quest and just quest through the world and stuff and enjoy my character.
Yeah.
But I found like I was level 20 something and I was just going into Westfall, which is like the second zone for the humans. And I was like, all right, this is kind of ridiculous. Like, I don't want to be
That's
like,
why we liked Conquest of Azeroth and playing fucking the adventure
yeah,
mode.
yep, the adventure
But
mode
the problem
makes
with
it a lot
adventure
better.
mode is really hard by yourself.
Yeah, you got to play with other people. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's been a lot of fun. So I was
And
playing that.
somebody wasn't
And,
playing, so I wasn't playing.
well, I'm having a lot more fun with it now. So I still can't play a
Yeah.
ton, but
You
I'm
still need
down
to
to play
play
more.
some Marvel Rivals too.
Oh yeah, I'm down
Be
to
fun
play
with
that
that.
more too because I got my computer fixed, so we're good.
Oh yeah. But okay, here's the Wayne question. What game are you guys looking forward to next, if any?
I'm looking forward to Civ 7 coming out.
Oh yeah, Civ 7, that's
Oh
right.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Should be good.
I don't know. I'm not really
I
caught
need to
up
play
on.
City Limits again. I love that shit.
I know there's a
City
game.
Skylines.
I
Yeah.
never actually played it myself, but I
I heard part 2
enjoyed.
sucks.
I enjoyed watching people play this game. It was called Kingdom Come Deliverance,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's basically like
Sequel's coming out apparently.
yeah, the sequel comes out in February or something. So I've been watching some people play through that game again recently, and it's such a cool, interesting game that's like very, they try to be very realistic and stay true to the time period of, when the game takes place and everything. And I just think it's really cool how they do a lot of things in the game. So I'm excited to see how the second one turns out. Other than that, I'm
Games
not
that
really familiar with games that are coming out.
the game that I am looking forward to, which is weird because, last couple ones is basically I love it and then I hate it and then it's just like, I don't really want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But it's just like I just keep on coming back to it and just like I really am looking forward to trying out and playing Monster Hunter Wilds. That was
Oh
fun.
yeah, I've heard a lot about the Monster Hunter games. It's just hard for me to process. Like I feel like the UI doesn't make any sense to me, and like the symbols don't make any sense to me. And
Basically, it's just Dark Souls, except for you
yeah,
just fight the boss the whole time.
yeah, that makes sense. That's a good way of thinking about it. Yeah,
It's just boss hunter.
Yep.
And then you get all and you use their parts to make cool weapons and armor.
yeah, and that is
I mean,
pretty
we
cool.
play that one version that the Epic Games made that was pretty fun, and they're just like, why don't we just play Monster Hunter?
Yeah,
This is like the fucking watered down version of it.
yeah, that's true. Although that version was a lot simpler too, so it was easier to
Oh yeah, that's
get
what watered
into.
down means.
Yep. Yep. So
Yeah.
yeah, games just seem fun.
All right.
But
Well, I think that's everything.
yeah, so we'll wrap
You
it
guys
up
want to
there.
talk about your animes or whatever? I don't watch TV.
Nope, haven't
Actually-
really been watching anything lately, so
Too bad the new season of Solo Leveling's pretty good. You should catch up on it.
solo leveling. Okay. Do they have the dub version or just the sub?
I don't check out the dub so right now.
Go watch the dub version of Ghost Stories.
Oh my god, I did watch like an episode of that or something, and I was laughing because it was like I can't believe some of the things they're saying. It's so ridiculous. Oh, so weird. But
It's
it's funny.
hilarious.
It is really funny. Okay, well, we'll wrap it up there. So thank you guys for watching. If you're watching it now or later, thanks for checking us out, and make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button. It does help the channel. And then if you hit the notification bell, you'll know when we go live next time. We are trying to go live around 3 o'clock every Wednesday, Mountain Time. So be sure to keep an eye out for us and hit that notification bell so you know when we go live.
Yeah.
And
If anything changes, we'll post it to Instagram.
yep,
usually.
special thanks to Dean for chatting with us in the chat. That was-
MP, your MVP.
Yep, your MVP,
Good job.
and that was awesome. Bringing up plasmoids and stuff. We'll have to look into that for a future episode. So cool. Make sure to leave a comment down below on what you guys think about Plum Island and what you want the next episode to be about, and whatever else you have to say to us. And we'll see you guys next time.
Yes. What cryptids do you want us to cover?
Yeah, we should cover
Give
more
us cryptid
cryptids.
ideas.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, cryptids are fun.
Okay. And we'll
They're
see you guys next
hilarious.
week.
They gotta be as funny as the pants ones.
Yeah, give us something funny too.
There's no
So.
pants walkers. Much better than night crawlers.
All right. With a new year, do we have new